We're going to do our literacy lesson now, but there's a few things that you need to make sure you've got before you start. So you need a pencil and you need either some line paper from home, or you can print out some of the resources below the video where you can choose to have either a blank sheet with a picture of a seagull on it, or you can pick the sheet that's got boxes for collecting the different word types. That's the one we're going to focus on today, but if you think having all the different boxes is going to confuse you, you can just list the words on the plain sheet instead, or on some line paper from home. That's totally up to you. Okay, so if you need to go and get those things now, pause the video, go and get them, and then come back. Okay, are you ready? I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to have a look at the PowerPoint and our objective. So today we're going to collect effective vocabulary to describe a scene. Effective just means words that sound really good, impressive vocabulary, okay? And the scene we're going to have a look at today is on a video. We're going to see a scene of some seagulls. So to be successful, I would like you to identify the nouns. So remember, nouns are the names of things. It can be people or places as well, but today it's going to be things. So it could be the seagull, or it could be parts of the seagull. So you might be describing its wings, or its beak, or its feet. Okay, so you also need to choose relevant adjectives when you're describing them. Relevant means words that make sense. So for example, you wouldn't say that the seagull's feathers were furry because they don't have fur, do they? Okay, so make sure that you choose adjectives that are relevant, that make sense. You're also going to be collecting verbs and adverbs. So verbs are your actions. So you're going to be looking at what things the seagulls do. It might be how they move. It might be the noises that they make. And then you're going to think of some adverbs that go with those verbs. So if they squawk, they might squawk noisily. Remember those ly words. So today you're bringing everything together that you've been learning over the last couple of weeks to collect all those different types of words. And we're also going to consider using your senses. The senses that we're going to focus on in particular are your sense of sight, your seeing, feeling, and hearing. Okay, so let's have a look at those a bit more now. So have a think. I gave you a bit of a clue then. What senses do we have that we can use to help us to create adjectives to describe things? There are 5 senses. I want you to think of all 5 of them. You did something with the senses last week with Mrs. Wood. So can you pause the video and tell your adult what are the 5 senses that we have? Okay, I'm going to show you now. See how many you came up with. So we have the sense of sight. That's things that we can see. We have the sense of hearing, things that we can hear. We have the sense of taste. We have the sense of touch, things that we can feel. And we have the sense of smell. Did you come up with all 5? Well done if you did. Well done if you only come up with a couple of them. Okay, so this is the sheet that I was talking about. So you can see it's got different boxes on. So this box is going to be all the things that you can see on the seagulls. And this box here is going to be all the things that you can hear, the noises that the seagulls might make. Here is what you can imagine things on the seagull might feel like, okay? Over here, we've got verbs. They're all the action words, all the things that the seagull can do. And adverbs, all the things that describe the action, so how they might move, okay? And then at the top here, it says, what are they like? I don't know if you can see that properly because my head's in the way at the top there. Okay, so if you think back to the story you read right at the beginning of the year, The Lighthouse Keeper's Lunch, that had some seagulls in. What were the seagulls like in that story? How do people see seagulls? What do they think they're like? What words were used? I can remember one of them. I remember them being called brazen. That was a good word, wasn't it? And that means cheeky. Okay, so you can list in here some words that describe what seagulls are like as well. To start you off though, we're going to watch a video. And as we're watching the video, I would like you to write down the words that you hear the man describing the seagulls as, okay? So if you haven't got that pencil, pause the video now and go and get it. So I'm just going to escape out of this one, and then I'm going to share my screen with the video with you. Okay, so you ready? Here we go. I'll give you some clues as well when he says the words. And also, if he's talking too quickly and you haven't got time to write them down, just pause the video and write it down and then unpause it. You can do that as many times as you need to. Are you ready?
Seagulls. Seagulls are a type of sea bird. They generally have a white body, gray wings, and a yellow beak. But some are more speckled. Have you ever been to the beach? Well, then you probably have seen some sneaky seagulls. Be careful though, because they might try to steal your fish and chips. Seagulls are carnivores that scavenge. This means they eat meat, like small fish or crabs. But they will also find food where they can, diving into the water. Or even at the dump. Despite eating at the dump, seagulls are very clever birds. They are great at working together. In a flock, they communicate with harsh squawks and body movements. Together, they learn different ways to catch food, like all stamping on the ground together to attract worms. Isn't that smart? They're also great at flying and gliding. And did you know seagulls can drink both salty seawater and fresh water? No wonder they're always at the beach.
Okay, I wonder if you came up with all of those words. Let's have a look. Okay, so you could have listed them on this sheet, or you could have put them on to this sheet. So these are the words that when I was listening, I heard the man say, and I jotted these ones down. So let's see if you've got them as well. So for things that you can see, I've got white body, grey wings, yellow beak, speckled. Then for my verbs, I heard him say they steal things, scavenge, diving, stamping, when they were stamping their feet on the sand to get the worms up for them to eat, flying, gliding, and then I heard him call them sneaky, and that they were carnivores. That means they eat meat. Clever, because they work together to get their food, and they a group of seagulls is called a flock. He also said they're smart, another word for being clever. And I think that was everything for the video. Oh no, harsh squawks as well. He said that was a sound that they made, and he did the impression of them. I'm not going to do that, but he did an impression of the seagulls, didn't he? Maybe you could do your impression of a seagull at home. Okay, now I don't think that's enough on your grid. I think you can use some of your ideas. So I want you to have a think of any adjectives, any words that you could use to describe what the seagull looks like. And can you add those to that box at the top? Things that the seagull looks like. So you might want to describe its beak, you might want to describe its tail feathers, you might want to describe its feet. So have a go and add some more in that box, and pause the video and then come back and I'll show you a couple that I added into that box. Okay, so in here I added, oh, went the wrong way. I added long thin legs, orange webbed feet. Webbed means they have some skin between their toes. Plump, they look well fed, these seagulls. And I added one down here as well for a feel. I imagine that their feathers felt quite silky. Okay, now I want you to have another think of verbs and adverbs. So think of some actions that you haven't already got listed from the video that might describe how the seagulls move, but also can you think about just noises they might make? And then can you think of some adverbs, some ly words to describe those movements and to describe those sounds? So pause the video and have a go. Okay, these are some that I came up with. Okay, so I added to the verbs waddled for how they might walk on the sand, stretched for when they stretch their wings out to take flight, noisily, they definitely squawk noisily, those seagulls. And I also came up with greedily for how they just swoop down and snatch things off people greedily, quickly. And they can also fly gracefully when they're soaring through the air. Okay, so what are you going to come up with? Now, if you get a little bit stuck for ideas, underneath the video of me are some more resources. There's one where I did a teacher example with lots and lots filled in. So if you get stuck, you can maybe magpie a couple from there that you like to help with your writing tomorrow. And also there's a link to other videos. So if you want to watch some more seagull videos, I know there's one where they're all fighting over a pizza. So have a little look at those as well. Have some fun, and you'll be all ready for your writing tomorrow, for your scene writing with Mrs. Wood. Okay, off you go. Bye.